Hey guys, welcome back to Past Amazing, and today we're going to be talking about 8 things that you probably didn't know about the Shrink Trap. So the Shrink Trap is the newest part of the Clashiversary update. It's a limited time trap available that will actually shrink enemy troops, and we're going to be talking about a few things about the Shrink Trap. But right before I get into it though, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and turn on notifications for all the latest Clash of Clans news and updates and leaks. And once you subscribe, comment down below saying that you subscribed, and I will be replying to a ton of you and actually even subscribing back to a few of you. So if you want that to happen to you, just going to make sure to do those things. But yeah, without further ado, let's go and get right into this list, starting off with number 1. You can actually use a rage spell to essentially counter the Shrink Trap. So in one of my last videos where I was testing out the Shrink Trap with the Barbarian King, I actually discovered this. But basically, if your troops are being shrunk, right, by the Shrink Trap, and you drop a rage spell on top of those affected troops, the rage spell will actually boost them right back up to their normal size, so then they'll no longer be slowed, no longer have slower damage or anything like that. So that's pretty interesting. So if you ever have half your army getting shrunk by the Shrink Trap, you can just drop a rage spell and it'll pretty much counter that. Pretty easy, but the only thing is once your troops step out of the rage spell, they will actually go ahead and become small again. So you just want your troops to stay in the rage spell if they are affected by this Shrink Trap. But yeah, I actually didn't know about this, and Supercell never talked about this either, so I wanted to put this first in the video. Alright, so number 2 is that the Shrink Trap not only makes your troops appear smaller, but it actually has an effect on them. It slows down the enemy movement speed and damage. So speed and damage are both decreased for any units affected by the Shrink Trap. So if you have a troop like a P.E.K.K.A. that gets shrunk, the P.E.K.K.A. is already a really slow troop, but with the Shrink Trap making it even smaller, even slower, that's going to be so bad. So you obviously do not want your bigger and slower troops to get affected by the Shrink Trap. For archers, for barbarians, stuff like that, I guess it doesn't really matter because they're so small anyways, but you definitely don't want your P.E.K.K.A.s, your golems, your balloons, other stuff like that getting slowed down both with their speed and their damage. Alright, so number 3 on this list is that the Shrink Trap lasts for 20 seconds in all. So the entire duration of the trap is exactly 20 seconds. And in the last 5 seconds or so of that 20 seconds, the troops affected by the Shrink Trap will actually gradually make their way back up to normal size. So for example, you have troops going in, for the first 15 seconds or so, they're tiny, but in the last 5 seconds, they gradually make their way up in a couple increments until they're back up to their normal size. And based on what I've seen, I can't tell if this is like a weakening of the trap, like as it gets bigger and bigger, it gets weaker and weaker, the effect of the Shrink Trap, or if it's just an animation effect. But anyways, I just wanted to note that. Number 4 on this list is that troops affected by the Shrink Trap will regen their health every time they get bigger. So similar to the last one I just talked about, but the thing is every single time they get bigger by a little, they regen all their health. So for example, I discovered this in my video with the Barbarian King and the Shrink Trap. Every single time the Barbarian King got a little bit bigger, it regened all its health back up to full, and then it started getting damaged again, and then it got a little bit bigger again, and suddenly its health is back up to full as well, and this just keeps going on. So I'm not sure if this is like a glitch or something that's actually intended, but it definitely works on the Barbarian King. So maybe Supercell will have to fix this, but it is only a limited time trap. It's not like really gonna have a permanent effect on the game, but as of now, that's how things are. Number 5 is that the Shrink Trap will shrink everything. So all troops the Shrink Trap will actually affect. So it's not just ground troops, not just troops, but it'll actually affect heroes as well. So the Barbarian King, the Archer Queen, the Grand Warden will all get shrunk by the Shrink Trap. All the troops, no matter how big, no matter how small, will be affected, and all troops within the radius of the Shrink Trap will be affected. It doesn't have like a limit or anything like that. So yeah, just wanted to mention that real quick. Now next one, number 6, is that the Shrink Trap is a limited time trap. So for those of you that did not know this, it's not a permanent trap that's being added to the game. It's going to be only available for a week or so during this Clashiversary event, and you can check how many days are left of the Shrink Trap in the events tab. You can see exactly how many days and hours are left until your shrink traps will magically disappear from your village, which they actually will. You can't just keep them or anything. They'll actually automatically disappear from your village once this event is over. So you might want to take advantage of the shrink trap while you do have it. Definitely put it in your home village, put it in your war base. It's only like 12,000 gold, not really that big of a deal, but yeah, this is a limited time only thing and it will be going away in about a week. Alright, so number 7 is that the witch actually created the shrink trap. So as we all know right now, the witch is the builder in Clash of Clans. The witch has taken the place of the builder, and with the witch becoming the builder, she has brought the shrink trap with her. If you've noticed from previous weeks, whatever the builder is, the event that week has to do with that troop. So the giant, when the giant was the builder, we had the giant surprise event. When the barbarian was the builder, we had the battle ram. So now when we have the witch, we have the shrink trap to pair with the witch. So it all makes sense. And if we look in the event picture for the shrink trap, the witch is clearly seen in the picture right next to the shrink trap. So we can safely assume that the witch has created the shrink trap. This is her creation. This is her contribution to our village as she is the builder. Now lastly on this list, number 8, placing down your shrink trap doesn't affect the friendly challenge cooldown. Now, I actually experienced this myself. When I first bought the shrink trap from the shop and I placed it down in my village, I thought there would be a 24-hour cooldown for my friendly challenges, but it turns out there is no cooldown. You can place the shrink trap anywhere you want and it will not affect the friendly challenge cooldown for your current village that you are on. If you place it on another village, then it's gonna have a cooldown. But if you place it on your current home village, there will be no cooldown. Now, I'm not sure if this is for all buildings. I think it might be for no matter what building you have. When you're building it, it'll not affect the friendly challenge cooldown. But just wanted to note this just in case if it's like only for the shrink trap or something, which is highly unlikely. But yeah, that's going to be the last thing on this list. And that is actually going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video for the shrink trap. Make sure to go ahead and like this video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe for more Clash of Clans content. I post daily Clash of Clans videos for your enjoyment, plus the latest Clash of Clans updates, news, announcements, and strategy. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.